This is the Sakar Murli of the 2nd of February 2024. Essence: sweet children, in order to claim a high status, imbibe the things that the Father teaches you exactly as he teaches you. Constantly continue to follow Srimat. Question: what should you think about very well so that you never have any regrets about anything? Answer: whatever part each soul is playing is accurately fixed in the drama. This drama is eternal and imperishable. Think about this and you will never regret anything. Only those who don't realize the beginning, middle and end of the drama have regrets. You children have to observe the drama as detached observers, exactly as it is. There is no question of crying or sulking in this. Om Shanti. The spiritual father sits here and explains to you spiritual children that souls are so tiny. A soul is very tiny, whereas a body that is visible to a tiny soul is so large. When the tiny soul separates from it, he cannot see anything. You should think about soul and what work such tiny points do. Very tiny diamonds can be seen with a magnifying glass to see whether they have any flaws, etc. Souls too are very tiny. Look how they use a magnifying glass to examine diamonds. Look where the soul resides. Look at his connection. He sees such a huge earth and sky with these eyes. When the point departs, nothing remains. Just as the Father is a point, so souls too are points. Such a tiny soul becomes pure and impure. These things have to be thought about very well. No one else knows what a soul is or what the Supreme Soul is. Look at what such a tiny soul does and what he sees while in a body. This soul has a whole part of 84 births recorded in him. It is a wonder how the soul works. Such a tiny point has a part recorded in him for 84 births. He sheds a body and takes another. When the soul has left its body, the body dies. Bodies are so large, and souls are so tiny. Baba has asked many times, how can people come to know that this world cycle turns every 5,000 years? When someone dies, it is not a new thing. The soul of that person left that body and took another one. That soul has also left that name and form at this time 5,000 years ago. The soul now knows that he sheds a body and takes another. You are now celebrating Shiv Jayanti. You show that you also celebrated Shiv Jayanti 5,000 years ago. Every 5,000 years you have been celebrating Shiv Jayanti, which is like a diamond. These things are true. You have to churn the ocean of knowledge so that you can then explain to others. You would say that these festivals are not new. History repeats, so that every 5,000 years all the actors leave their bodies. They shed their names, forms, places and times, and take others. Churn this, and write about it in such a way that people are amazed. I ask children, have we met before? It is the tiny soul that has to be asked this. Did you meet me before with that name and form? It is the soul that hears. So many reply, yes, Baba, we met you before in the previous cycle. Each of you has a whole part in the drama in your intellect. Those actors are in limited dramas, whereas this is an unlimited drama. This drama is very accurate. There cannot be the slightest difference in it. Those films that are played by a machine are limited. There can be 2 to 4 reels which continue to spin. This is the one and only eternal and imperishable unlimited drama. Such a tiny soul plays a part, and then plays another part within it. A film reel of 84 births would be so long. This is nature. This sits in the intellects of some. It is like a record. It is very wonderful. It cannot be 8.4 million births. It is a cycle of 84 births. How can you give its introduction? If you explain to journalists, they would print it in the newspapers. You can also print this in the magazines every now and then. We are talking about the things of this confluence age. These things will not exist in the Golden Age or the Iron Age. It would be said of animals, etc., and everything else, that you will see all of that again after 5,000 years. There cannot be any difference. Everything in the drama is fixed. In the Golden Age, animals will be very beautiful. The shooting of the history and geography of the whole world is taking place, just as shooting of a drama takes place. If a fly passes by and goes away, it will repeat in the same way. We will not worry about those trivial things now. First of all, the Father himself says, I enter this lucky chariot every cycle at the confluence age. The soul said how he enters it. The soul is such a tiny point. He is then also called the ocean of knowledge. Only those of you children who are sensible are able to understand these things. I come every 5,000 years. This is such a valuable study. Only the Father has accurate knowledge, and he gives it to you children. If someone were to ask you, you would instantly be able to tell him that the duration of the Golden Age is 1,250 years. The duration of each birth there is 150 years. Such a long part is played. You have the whole cycle in your intellects. We take 84 births. The whole world continues to turn in a cycle in this way. This drama is eternal, imperishable and predestined. There cannot be any new addition to it. It is remembered. Since everything is fixed, why worry about anything? Whatever happens is fixed in the drama. You have to observe it as detached observers. In limited plays, when there are such parts fixed, those who are soft-hearted begin to cry. That is just a play after all, whereas this is real. Here each soul plays his own part. The drama never stops. There is no question of crying or sulking in this. This is nothing new. Only those who don't realise the beginning, middle and end of the drama have regrets. Only you know this. Whatever status we attain through this knowledge at this time, we will become the same again after going around the cycle. These are very amazing things which you have to churn. No human beings know these things. Even the rishis and munis used to say, "We do not know the Creator or creation." How would they know that the Creator is such a tiny point? He alone is the Creator of the new world. He is teaching you children. He is the ocean of knowledge. Only you children can explain these things. You would not say that you do not know. The Father explains to you at this time. You don't need to regret anything. You have to remain constantly cheerful. The film of those dramas will wear out through wear and tear. They will become old, and you would then replace them and destroy the old ones. This drama is unlimited and imperishable. You should think about these things and make them firm. This is the drama. We are following the Father's Srimat and becoming pure from impure. There cannot be another way through which we impure ones become pure, or through which we can become Sattva-Pradhan from Tamo-Pradhan. While playing our parts, we have become Tamo-Pradhan from Sattva-Pradhan, and now we have to become Sattva-Pradhan. Neither is a soul destroyed, nor is his part destroyed. No one thinks about such things. When people hear these things, they will be amazed. They simply study the scriptures of the path of devotion. The Ramayana, the Bhagavad and the Gita, etc. are all the same. Here, you have to churn the ocean of knowledge. We have to imbibe everything that the unlimited Father explains, exactly as he explains it. Then we can claim a good status. Not everyone can imbibe to the same extent. Some people explain in great depth and subtlety. Nowadays you go to give lectures in prisons. You also go to the prostitutes. You children must also go to those who are deaf and dumb, because they too have a right to this. They can understand through signals. The soul that understands is inside. Place a picture in front of them, and they would at least be able to read it. An intellect is in each soul. Even if someone is blind or crippled, he can understand in one way or another. The blind have ears. Your picture of the ladder is very good. You can explain this knowledge to anyone and make them worthy of going to heaven. Souls can claim their inheritance from the Father. The souls can go to heaven. Perhaps the organs would be defective. There is no lame or crippled there. There both souls and bodies are pure. Matter is also pure. New things are definitely Sattva-Pradhan. This drama is predestined. 1 second cannot be the same as the next. There cannot be 2 seconds that are the same. There is always a little difference. You have to understand such a drama exactly as it is, as detached observers. You receive this knowledge at this time, and you will not receive it again. Previously you didn't have this knowledge. This is called an eternal, imperishable, predestined drama. Understand it well, imbibe it, and explain it to others. Only you Brahmins know this knowledge. You are receiving powerful medicine to give you strength. Anything that is the best of all is praised. You also know number-wise how the new world is established and what that kingdom will then be like. Those who know this can also explain to others. You have a lot of happiness. Some don't have happiness worth even a penny. Each one has his own part. Those in whose intellect this sits, and who churn the ocean of knowledge, can also explain to others. This is your study, and that is what you become. You can explain to anyone, you are a soul. It is the soul that remembers the Supreme Soul. All souls are brothers. It is said God is one. All human beings have a soul in them. The Paralokic Father of all souls is one. No one can make those whose intellects have firm faith change their minds. They would quickly make weak ones change their minds. They have so many debates about the notion of omnipresence. They too are very firm in their own knowledge. It is possible that they don't belong to our religion. How can you say that they belong to the deity religion? The original eternal deity religion has disappeared. You children know that those of your original eternal deity religion belong to the pure family path. It has now become impure. Those who were at first worthy of worship have now become worshippers. If you have learnt many points, you are able to explain to many others. The Father explains to you, and you then have to explain to others how the world cycle turns. No one else apart from you knows this. You too are number-wise. Baba also has to repeat the points again and again because new ones come. They ask you how establishment took place in the beginning, and you would then have to repeat that. You will remain very busy. You can also explain using the pictures. However, not everyone is able to imbibe this knowledge to the same extent. Here you need this knowledge, you need remembrance, and you need very good dana. You definitely have to remember the Father in order to become Sattvapratan. Some children remain trapped in their own business. They don't make any effort at all. This too is fixed in the drama. However much effort each of you made in the previous cycle, you will make that same effort again. At the end you have to live as brothers. You came bodiless and you have to return bodiless. It should not be that you remember someone at the end. No one can go back yet. How could anyone go to heaven before destruction takes place? They would surely either go to the subtle region or take another birth here. They would make effort to remove whatever weaknesses still remain. However, they would only be able to understand that when they grow older. This is all fixed in the drama. Only at the end will you have a constant stage. It isn't that when you write down everything you would remember it all. So why are there so many books in the libraries, etc.? Doctors and lawyers keep many books. They continue to study them. There, human beings are lawyers for human beings. You souls become lawyers for souls. You souls are teaching souls. Those are worldly studies, whereas this study is spiritual. Through this spiritual study you will not make any mistakes for 21 births. Many mistakes are made in the kingdom of Ravan, due to which you will have to tolerate a lot. Those who don't study fully and don't attain their karmatit stage will have to tolerate punishment. Then their status would also be reduced. Only when you churn the ocean of knowledge and continue to reply to others would you think about these things. You children know that the father whose Shiv Jayanti is being celebrated also came in the previous cycle. There was no question of any battle, etc. All of those things are from the scriptures. This is a study. There is happiness in earning. Those who earn 100,000 have greater happiness. Some are millionaires, whereas others have little money. However many jewels of knowledge some have, they have that much happiness. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap-Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dana 1. Churn the ocean of knowledge and fill yourself with jewels of knowledge. Understand the secrets of the drama very well and also explain them to others. Don't have any regrets about anything, but remain constantly cheerful. 2. You have to make your stage constant and stable over a long period of time, so that at the end you remember no one except the one Father. Practice being brothers, and that you are now going back home. Blessing. May you be a sensible soul who constantly maintains zeal and enthusiasm by bidding farewell to any wave of carelessness. Some children become careless when they look at others. They think, well, this happens all the time, it is fine. Is it being sensible if you become careless while watching someone stumbling and you then stumble yourself? Bap-Dada feels mercy because the time of repentance for those who remain careless will be so difficult. Therefore be sensible and let your mind bid farewell to any wave of carelessness or wave of looking at others. Do not look at others, but just look at the Father. Slogan: Prepare air-quality souls, and the drums of revelation will beat. Om Shanti.